Look at the move knight to c6. So far we have covered the a6 and c5 moves, and both of them lead to very good position for white. Now let us focus on the other popular line and one of the main moves, knight to c6. So this is not an ambitious move, but nevertheless you have to know how to meet this, and we recommend queen to a4. Notice that black doesn't have the option to play bishop d7, bishop c6, whereas the pawn on c4, if white gains it without any effort, white is simply going to have a better position. So now black plays bishop b4. Now besides bishop b4, if black tries to play quiet moves such as bishop to d7, then taking the pawn, as I mentioned earlier, gives very good play for white. And if knight a5, for example, queen c2, we can follow this with rook c8, castle, c5. So black is trying to destroy the last central pawn, but in the meantime white is getting the edge in development. Knight c3, pawn takes d4, knight takes d4. And if bishop c5, simple move knight to b3 gives advantage to white. And now if black tries to be smart and play bishop a4, temporarily using this idea that if knight takes bishop, bishop takes f2, this is kind of a trap. Of course, white doesn't have to take on a4, and as a matter of fact, after the simple move bishop g5, the bishop and the knight are standing nicely, but again, there is no threat, and white has a much better development and a better position. And to give you an example what could happen, for example, after castle, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6. Here actually white can take on a4. And if bishop takes f2, rook takes f2, rook takes c2, rook takes f6, pawn takes f6, you realize that, well, actually rook takes f6, better is to take in between, otherwise you lose the knight on a5, knight takes b3, a takes b, pawn takes f6. You realize now that white has two pieces for the rook and very strong bishop on g2. These pawns are going to be really weak. And now whether or not black makes a draw is unclear, but what is clear is that black is going to suffer and white has very good winning chances.